So today we are going to discuss about papaya cultivation in Sri Lanka. So papaya is belonging to family Caricaceae, and the botanical name is Carica papaya. So you know the pixels, you know the pepper, and right. You can see here apples nutrition rich and delicious fruits among all generation, and here, right, it is a popular fruit, right? Why? Because it can be cultivated easily, and we can get the early income and suitable at any climate and soils. It depends on variety. And then primarily it is cultivated in home garden, but presently the pepper is cultivated at a commercial level in India, South America, Indonesia, Hawaii Island, and Sri Lanka. In case of Sri Lanka, they are going to extend the land for the commercial cultivation, but still limited. And also the production is very less in terms of commercial level. So when we consider about yield, we can get pepper fruit throughout the year. Basically, two season. There are dry season and wet season. We can get the product from the pepper. Think about that. It is a dicotyledonous plant, and diploid level is 2n is equal to 18. In the world, under the genus Carica, there are 48 species found. In case of Sri Lanka, there are two species are very important. Among that, Carica papaya, that is the economically important crop. So when we consider about another species, second species, Carica candamacensis, it is mainly grown in mountainous area and yield a small size of fruits. So the cultivation purpose, Carica papaya is important. Major district is Kurunagala. In addition to that, Kalatura, Ratnapura, Kambaga, Gold, Anuradhapura, Puttalam, Hambantota, and Badula district also have a higher extent. And we can use the pepper as a fresh fruit for edible purpose, and as well as other processed products, so use pickles and various value-added product we can get from the pepper. When we consider about market, there is no market price fluctuation in wholesale, but retail sale prices varied during April to June in Sri Lanka. As vegetables and fruits, the pepper also having post-harvest losses in post-harvest phase. The highest percentage of post-harvest losses is found in pepper compared to banana and pineapple. I think you have already finished this banana and pineapple cultivation. Sri Lanka, major cultivation of papaya is under Mahavali development areas and in dry zone. Wet zone, the papaya cultivation is limited. Why? Because the virus incidence. But even we can cultivate a papaya in a wet zone area. production is high, nearly 93,600 metric ton production from 6,943 hectare in Sri Lanka. However, 3,229 tons exported out of these total production to earn 2,240 million rupees. Per capita consumption of papo in Sri Lanka as present condition 700 gram per head per year. It is next to the banana, so that this amount is not enough for the healthy life. So we have to ensure the we can increase the production more than that. Even production is more than the amount imported and exported from other countries, for example, Thailand and Singapore. And also the local demand is high because the hotel industry and other food industries, they need the pepper. As I said, the postcard losses in pepper nearly 46%, mainly because of harvest defects, storage, and transportation. So the nutrition value, as usual for other fruit crops, per 100 gram edible portion, you can see the water, energy, protein, fat, and other things you can go. But basically, it is carotene rich and vitamin C rich food. Other than that, we can use some medicinal value from the ripened fruits and as well as unripe fruit and leaf extracts. Say for an example, for ripe fruit, facilitates digestion, release constipation, useful in treatment for splenic hemorrhoids, skin diseases, gastrointestinal disorders, hepatic disorders, and disease of upper respiratory tract. And from the unripe fruit, so we can extract some milk from the unripe mature fruit, that is called papain here, right? Papain. This is used for meat tenderizer and proteolysis activity we can use. Especially in recent year, the dengue fever is almost all over the world. So the leaf extract from the papayo, it is used for dengue treatment. Say, believe that it can increase the platelets count. And when we consider about botanical characters, as I said, this is one of the dicotyledon plants. And you can see stem. It is a soft and straight stem, right? And usually latex is present in the stem, no branches in general. And it can be grow from 2 to 10 meter, no branches in general, I said. This scar is prominent after leaf fold. You can see picture. You can see the stem, right? These are leaf scar, right? Here, right? The leaf scar are prominent after leaf fold. And leaves are developed as a cluster and curly at the top of the stem, like palmera leaf. Also, same phenomena as a cluster. You can see the top of the tree. And the roots, once you observe this picture, you can see, I think one of the students are moving here and there. That's what the noises are high. Please mute, right? We have a background noise, please mute, right? And here you can see the root. Papaya is a taproot because they are called plant taproot system. Can be grow up to 10 centimeter during the seedling stage. And after that, from the taproot, primary, that means primary root and secondary root, tertiary roots are developed. You can see that the A mean germinating papaya seeds here, and B mean 10 days old papaya seedlings, right? This one, and this one 3-week old papaya seedling with 6 true leaves, right? You can see. And the D is side view of an excavated 5-month-old papaya root season. This 5 months, so before flowering, right? And secondary roots. Then E1 upper view of the same root system showing horizontal distribution of secondary roots. So that means the satellite view. And this is leaves. This is upper portion and below surface, upper surface and below surface leaf. You can see in the picture, right? Palmate type, deep lobe, long petiole, right? That is hollow type, long petiole. Surface light green in color, below dark in green. That you can see, right? Prominent vein is there. New leaf develop at 2 to 3 weeks interval. At mature stage, we can able to see 15 leaves in the pepper tree. And here flowers, this is a special character. I think maybe our demonstrator explained in our practical classes about pepper flowers. It is a dicotyledonal plant. So why I am saying that, and therefore the male and female flowers are separate. You can see that male flowers are in male tree and female flowers are in female tree. It is produce the perfect flowers. So when we consider about male flowers, long inflorescence at one axil, one of the hanging type. Sometimes flowers with short peduncle, sometimes tube-like structure. Per flower, we can see 10 anthers. Here, the first picture A, that is the male plant. Here, B1 male plant. You can see that a lot of male flowers are in inflorescence. Then female flowers born as a single or inflorescence and attached to stem. These two flowers are larger than male flowers. Female flowers is only born in female plant. You can see short pedicel. Pedicel means that like a connection part between stem and flowers is 4 to 6 centimeter and has functional style, 5 petals attached at the base of the ovule, right? This is the female plant and this is female flower. What is that? This one E, that is the bisexual or hermaphrodite flowers, tree and hermaphrodite flowers. So there are 3 type of flowers in the pepper. Hermaphrodite flowers is short pedicel, long style petal are joined at 2 by 3rd of portion and produce tube-like structure. So we have to identify the female and hermaphrodite flower. Male flower we can easily identify, but our target is to identify the female and hermaphrodite flowers. So this is a different. Like petal are joined at 2 by 3rd of portion and produce tube-like structure. 10 anthers and 5 are attached to the tube. Flowers are pale yellow in color. Basically 3 types of flowers, but it can be further 8. So that for the study purpose, okay, we say there are 3 types, but we can further divide it into 8. Male flowers produced during the high temperature is believed, right? Production of female flowers not depend on weather condition, right? Sometimes rudimentary fruits develop in male inflorescence. Here you can see the picture. This is male flower. Inside you can see the end, right? This one is a female flower. You can see, and this one is a hermaphrodite, right? Then P6, that is later stage. Right? Fruit, diversity of taste and shapes are available in Sri Lanka. Right, in the market, there are numerous types of fruits are available. It is mainly depend on variety as well as within the variety, because of the male and female and hybrid flowers. So flower structure, flower types are different. That's what we can get a various shape of fruit. Weight of fruit varied from 200 gram, because small one, to 6 kilogram. Shape of the fruit dependent on type of flower, right? Say female flower, where we can get the fruits, that is round shape. And fruit from the hermaphrodite flower, long and ellipse or oblong shape. Here the picture, this is the ellipse shape. That means long fruit. But this is a cylindrical or a round, we can say. Surface, soft green in color, yellow or orange when ripened. Flesh color, you can see inside the flesh, yellow, it may be yellow, orange, or seeds are produced in internal hole, and gray color seeds are attached to internal flesh. You can see when we split the pepper into two parts, we can see the seeds inside the hollow structure. Fruit maturity period 3 to 4 months. So once it's flower, we have to wait 3 to 4 months to get the fruits. And mature green fruits, from the mature green fruits, we can get a papain. The papain is the industrial product from the pepper. We can get papain milk latex, then we can go for a further process and get papain. Then papain is used for meat tenderizer, and then it is also used for making some products, chewing gum like that. Here, you can see this is the, oh, what is that? What is a flower? You can see, because the fruit round shape here. Here, this is fruit is the oblong or long shape. So from the round shape, that is female flower, right? So fruit can be get from female or hermaphrodite flowers. So then this is the round shape fruit, we can get the female flower. Then this is the long shape, so this is the hermaphrodite flower. You can see the flowers. And this is male flower. Male flower, sometimes we can get rudimentary fruits from the male flower, because you can see here, this is the structure. This is the male flower, right? ST means stamen. Here you can see the below part, I listed certain form, right? Stamens. And CT mean corolla tube. Here corolla tube. PI mean you can see that pistillate, right? Then this one petal, and SA mean stigmata, right? ST means stem. So this is male flower. This one is female flower, and then this is the hermaphrodite flowers, right? So you can see here, over is there. Here also over is there. So you can see what is the difference, right? 2/3 of the portion, the joint, right? You can see here all the joint in bottom part, right? So but larger one, right? Here you can see the inflorescence. This is male inflorescence. Then again, this is female inflorescence. This is hermaphrodite inflorescence. Say here, same thing come again. This is a round shape fruit getting from female plant. This one is long shape fruit getting from the hermaphrodite plant. This is male plant. Male flowers hanging tight, right, long tube-like structure. Here, sometimes the rudimentary fruits are formed from the male plant. So then sex expression, I think in your practical class, you may be studied, or I don't know whether they teach or not. But there are three sex form, female, male, and hermaphrodite, regulated by an alleles, right? XY chromosome systems, right? Papayas can be either dioecious, that means the male and female plants, and canodioecious, that gyn-dioecious, that means gyn-dioecious with hermaphrodite and female plant, right? So maybe male or female or hermaphrodite, right?
Yeah.
So we can see the Y chromosome, that is the responsible allele, and contain a small specific region that control expression of male, that means the Y, and hermaphrodite YX types, right? So when we mix the parent, right, male parent and female, or maybe hermaphrodite or female, the hermaphrodite means bisexual, no, right? Here they are, where the male and female flowers are available. So then we can mix either male or female, or hermaphrodite or male, or maybe like that. Uh, Hermaphrodite. So then once we get the result that control expression of male Y and hermaphrodite Y types. The female plants of XX form, right? All combination, this is a highlight one, all combination among Y and YX chromosome are lethal. Lethal mean that is dead. We cannot get these type of offspring uh, which contain these type of alleles, right? Gene, chromosome. Therefore, the male and hermaphrodite types are heterogeneous. So XY and XY respectively, right? So when we consider about soil and climate, uh, a region falls between 32° north and south from the equator are suitable. That means the tropical and subtropical climate are suitable for pepper cultivation. Elevation 0 to 500 meter. That's what the recommended zone, low country wet zone, dry zone, and intermediate zone. Temperature, it ranges from 28 to 35 degrees Celsius. Is a dry season fruits. Uh, I mean, when we get the product from the dry season, that is very tastiest because of the moisture stress. Rainfall 100 millimeter annually, that is enough. But if we feel that water is less, then we can go for irrigation. RH, that is important factor, 80 percentage, that is optimum. Heavy moist affect the growth and development over than that, right? Need proper care in wind prone area, right? And especially in coastal sites. So sometimes the salty water come across in the pepper field, so we should consider about that also, right? So if it is wind prone areas, we can make some wind belt, right, surrounding the Papua area. Recently, I saw some video from Kalachi district, Amlanga, somewhere. The Papua breakdown, top of the Papua, right, because it is having more number of fruits. Because of the heavy weight, it break down at the top of the portion. Then they lost all the field, all the Papua is affected. I saw some video. So that means if it is windblown, that is accident, right? But we can go for a wind belt cultivation. Otherwise, we can do some propping at the time of flower bearing, fruit bearing. That means the support. Soil, well drained, rich in organic matter, deep soil are good. Unfertile land, application of fertilizers are required. Depth of groundwater table, 90 to 120 centimeters. So why? Because if the groundwater table is closer to that root system, so that means the root is always touching with the groundwater table, it is not advisable because Papua is a soft stem plant. So then yeah, it can affected by fungal disease, say for an example, rotting. It is happening. So then we ensure that the groundwater table are below than the 90 to 120 centimeter from the surface. So pH 5.5 to 6.5, that means closer to neutral level. And recommended varieties, it is a cross-pollinated crop. So then the offspring, definitely from the seed, we can develop the new plant. But the characters are changing. This is not a true to type planting material when we produce the planting material from the seeds. And when we look at, so if you look at these varieties, these are earlier varieties successfully cultivated in Sri Lanka. But nowadays, the hybrid is popular one, right? You can see the right side. This is one of the red color flush papaya. You know, right? The earlier time, we are eating these pepper. These are very tastiest one. Nowadays, these characters are changing. You know, right? Here, first one we can see the Ratna, right? This is first developed variety through the breeding program in Sri Lanka, and variety was released by Department of Agriculture in 1997. They done the breeding in male plants, and why? Because this variety does not have the male plants. You know, right? Ratio between hermaphrodite and female is 2:1 uh, when we generate through the breeding program. The average fruit weight 600 to 800 gram, so less than the 1 kilo. Fruit production 32 fruits per year. You can see the year we can get 30 to 40 fruits. And you know the number, you know the weight, then you know the average yield in terms of ton per hectare. We can calculate later. Quality is suitable for export. And you know, right, in the stem the fruits are born in equal space. That means the uniform spread on the stem, and transportation loss is very less. So it is good, and we can avoid the transportation loss. Fruits become yellow when ripe. So if you look at the surface of the fruit, that is shiny and attractive. And uniform patches are available. That means the no green patches on the surface when ripe. That means the yellow color is spread in uniform. Flesh is very tastiest, and the bridge value is 13. So that is the ripening indication. And think about that papaya ring spot virus, it is susceptible. Therefore, it is not recommended to wet zone. But disease incidences occurs in rhizomes. That means uh, the wet zone is mostly affected by papaya ring spot. Even the rhizome also can be affected by papaya ring spot virus. So Ratna, that is recommended for dry and intermediate zone. And here the red lady produce high quality fruits. Right? So then it is the export quality is very much high. But when we consider about where it is originated, it is one of the imported hybrid variety. The number of fruits 60 to 80 fruits per year. Fruit weight 1.5 to 2 kilogram. That means the largest size fruit. Round shaped fruits from female plant as usual, ellipse shaped fruits from hermaphrodite plants, right? Then difficulties in transport due to its heavy size. So because of the larger size of fruit, transportation is very difficult. So when we consider about bridge value 12, so someone put a question mark. That means the bridge mean through the refractometer we can measure the juice, right? Then after ripen, we can extract the juice and put into the refractometer and get the value 12. That means if it is less than that 12, that is immature fruit. If it is greater than that 12, then we can say okay, that is the 12 is optimum, right? The pepper is this variety also susceptible to pepper ring spot virus, but uh, even it is affected by this viral disease, but it produced a high yield. That is the special characters of these red lady variety. So once we consider about height also high, then fruit weight also high. Then another variety is Sinda. This is also imported hybrid variety, but it is resistant to papaya ring spot virus. You can see these Sinta are almost available in the CIC and other Hales. They are producing the Sinta variety. It is a short variety, so the harvesting is very easy. Average fruit weight it is range from 800 gram to 1.2 kilogram. Flesh is very soft, yellow and orange in color. Breech value 10 to 12. Fruit yield 60 to 80 fruits per year. Right. So then recently the uh, corona means not corona hybrid. That means the fruit crop and research development institute that is located in Corona. This is a bus hybrid between local and Ratna. So the earlier one, that is a bus variety developed through the breeding program. So, but this one is bus hybrid between local and Ratna. They ensure that the characters are mixed with local and Ratna in Sri Lanka, released in 2014 by Department of Agriculture. Here the male and hermaphrodite ratio is 1:1. It is also resistant to papillary ring spot virus and therefore suitable to wet zone and yield is good in all areas. Average fruit weight 1.2 to 2 kilograms, so largest size of fruit, right? But the number of fruits 15 to 60 fruits per year, but weight is high. So think about that yield. Breech value 12.5. Flesh is soft than the Ratna and Red Lady. Even it is surrounded by thin peel, but no transportation loss so far. And another thing is that planting material production. You know, right? How we can develop the papaya nursery from the planting material. Seeds propagation, that is a main propagation method in Sri Lanka. What about other propagation method? Can we do the grafting buds? Yes. Why? Because this is one of the dicotyledon plants. So we can do the grafting and buds, grafting, budding, right? Budding technique we can use. But those are not at the recommended level. That means those are not at commercial level cultivation. Even the papo also produced by tissue culture method, that is also not suitable for commercial level cultivation. Then because seed propagation easier than those grafting, budding and tissue culture. Seed propagation, so how we can get the seeds, due to cross pollination, it is difficult to get the same characters of parent plant. That means true to type planting material we cannot get. Out of the seeds, when we develop and when we put into the germination tray, we can get the result 50% are male plants. So rest 50% are female or maybe hermaphrodite. But seeds of the hybrid plants, red lady, are not suitable for planting as a planting material. Why? Because this is F1 hybrid, right? So then F1 generation, okay, but from the F1 we can get the fruit and we can extract the seeds and we can put, but we cannot get the same characters of red lady one. This is the problem. So again we are depending on new F1 seeds. But when we consider about Ratna, we can use the seeds for the production. So how we can get the seeds production? By self-pollination, right? It is possible. Is it possible to do the self-pollination papaya? Yes. Why? Because we can select the hermaphrodite plants. Why? Because hermaphrodite means bisexual. Here the male and female flowers are there. So then self-pollination is possible, right? So we should ensure to avoid the cross-pollination during the self-pollination time. So what we can do at the time of selection, selected plants are ready to open their hermaphrodite flowers. So just before the opening, we have to select the hermaphrodite flowers. So we should carefully think about, carefully identify whether it is female flowers or whether it is hermaphrodite flowers, right? So when we select the female plant wrongly, then we cannot get the self pollination and we cannot get the product because only female flowers are there. That's what we should ensure 100% that is the hermaphrodite flowers. So then after selection of hermaphrodite flowers, it should be covered with backing. That is, right? That is we have to ensure outside window, other things not influence on the cross pollinations. That's what we can cover or close or seal the hermaphrodite flowers, right? By oil paper, its the size is 9 to 6 centimeter. Sometimes male flowers are attached or closer to these hermaphrodite flowers. So this is the hermaphrodite flowers we can cover with bag. But sometimes male flowers are there closer to this. So we have to remove that male flowers. Then after that we use labeling we have to do at what time we should do. So labeling is there, right? Plant name, breeder name, and at what time we do, what is the condition, like everything is we put in the label. Then after that, after 4 to 5 days later, uh, then we have to remove the bags and observe the fruits, right, carefully whether it is self-pollinated, right? How we can identify if the pollination is success, ovule is enlarged, right? You can see here the ovary, right? Ovary ovule that is going enlarged, and the tip of the ovule that is turned into purple in color. So that is identification. These hermaphrodite flowers is cell pollinated. Then you can see uh, after that we can get the seeds. So fruits will develop after that. Then first 30 to 40 fruits are suitable to extract the seeds. So after getting the fruits, uh, we have to select the first 30 to 40 fruits from the tree. Even the initially one or two fruits are there, we have to remove that one. After the 32 fruits we select and select for the seed extraction purpose. Then later fruits are not suitable. Here you can see seed extraction, how we can do. Seeds are extracted from well ripened fruits as vegetable as usual. We have already studied in vegetable for the seed preparation or seed extraction. We keep in the plant for over maturity. That means well ripened fruits. Cull the seeds whatever develop closer to the peduncle. Right? The peduncle side. So we have to remove the seeds where it is closer to peduncle because that is not good. So then how we can identify, cull the seed whatever develop closer to the peduncle, that means the 1/3 portion of a fruit. So that means we can select 2/3 of fruit portion of the fruit. So within that where the seeds are available we can get. Remove sticky substances or gelatinous substances and wash the seeds thoroughly in fresh water. So wash the because to remove the gel-like substances. Seeds are then dried in shady place up to get 9%. That is the seed moisture 9%. It is dried. It cannot be rolled by hand. So then, how we can identify whether it is well dried and get 9% moisture? So then, when we hold the seed by hand, it couldn't able to hold, right? So it is loosened quickly. Then dry seeds are packed and sealed airtight condition in 300 gauge bag and stamped. So after that we can stamped, what is the NGO, department, like that. Then after seed extraction and labeling, we have to store the seeds. So under normal temperature, under room temperature, we can store these type of seeds. That means the 9% moisture content seed, we can store 8 to 12 months. That means nearly 1 year. And then 80% germination is there. So then under cool storage, 1 to 1.5 years, we can store at a temperature of 15 to 16 degrees Celsius. In case of papaya, we don't need to store in the ultra coolers. The nursery technique, select the seeds from good parent plants. So how we can characterize the mother plant? That means it should be a good quality fruits in previous season or maybe 2 years. Produce high yield and early harvest. Uniform spread of fruit production in the stem. Intermediate length of pedangle, not a long pedangle, right? And two fruits from a pedangle. That means, right? It is the character may be good, right? Intermediate height, well grown, strong leaves, less incidence from pest and disease. This is the characters. And how we can prepare the nursery. Here you can see the first picture. The seeds are sown in sand bed. We can prepare the sand bed and sow the seeds. Then germinated good seedling at 2 leaf stage are transferred to polybags. Then after that we can transfer it into polybags. This is one method. Another method, seeds are directly sown into the polybags. So we can directly put the seeds into the bags, right? So the materials, plastic nursery tray. So rather than the sand bed, we can use the nursery bed, a nursery tray, plastic nursery tray. Use 4 to 5 centimeter diameter trays and plant one seed per hole in the nursery tray. Then poly bags, 15 centimeter width and 20 centimeter height and 30 height size poly bags are used. Make some hole to drain the excess water. So this is the poly bag technique. And so far 68 participants are observing, right? Okay, good. Then here you can see potting media mixer 1, mixer 2 and mixer 3. So different type of potting media we can use, right? For the mixer 1, say topsoil, dry cow dung and compost sand. There's a ratio 1:1:1. There may be farmyard manure and sand 1:1. Mixture topsoil sand 3:1 we can use. This is any kind of mixture we can use for the nursery preparation. Then as usual we can do the sterilization. This is very much important because in case of papo, fungal diseases are mostly dominant. So then we have to ensure the nursery medium or maybe potting medium are free from pest and disease. So as usual, solarization, water vaporization and chemical sterilization we can do. Solarization, spread the mixed medium in bright sunshine and medium is closed by using 300 gauge white polythene for 10 days. So wetted medium, right? Water better mean to increase the efficiency of heating. Water vaporization, use hot water for 15 minutes. So that is another technique. Then chemical sterilization, use the recommended fungicide like Chaptan or Thrum at recommended level until fully wetted. Seed rate, this is for nursery, right? Seed rate, 10 to 15 gram seeds is required to cover up the 1 acre cultivation of the papaya orchard. So in terms of hectare, 25 to 40 grams, so small amount. Germination percentage, 80%. It is depend on varieties. Say, variety means size of the seeds. Say if it is Ratna, 100 seeds per gram. If it is Red Lady, 70 gram seeds per gram. So the size is different. So Red Lady, the seed size is higher than the Ratna. That's what the number of seeds are less in Red Lady than the Ratna. Planting of seeds, take a cool store seeds before a day, right? That's very important, but don't keep 2 or 3 days because immediately taking from the refrigerator, we should use the seeds. Otherwise, the vigor and viability are lost. Then germination, seed germination. You can see the how the seeded bags by using wetted sack or paper to induce the germination. So that as usual to provide the dark condition to induce the germination. After seed germination, the sacks and paper should be removed and then make a shed at the height of 45 to 60 centimeter by using coconut leaves. So then that means the shade level is very important to protect the seedling, right, from the outside damage, right? Germinate. We have to ensure the germination. So if it is large size nursery unit, we can use the 50% net house, shade nets. Daily irrigation importance, but don't do the over irrigation because it causes the wilt. And think about irrigation, but before uprooting in the nursery bed, as usual for vegetable crop, we have to stop the irrigation 5 to 7 days before uprooting. Even we can use some micronutrients to induce the growth. And this is the ideal size of seedling. Seedlings are ready at 20-30 days. So you can think about that. 20-30 days, that is depend on the growth rate, nearly 1 month at 8 leaf stage, right? We have to count the days and leaf stage. Gardening should be done for 10 days under sunshine to familiar with the field condition or to adapt the plant to the field condition. Spray sulfur based fertilizer when mice attack observes during the nursery period. We can spray the sulfur if you feel the or observe the plant is affected by mites. Then field planting, land, well drained, rich organic matter, deep fertile soils are suitable. Right here, in terms of pepper, well drained, there is a best condition or best soil condition. Why? Because we have to ensure the fields, the pepper is not affected by any flooding or rotting. So then drainage facilities should be made well in advance for pepper. Seedling are planted either single or double row at square or triangle. Method is there are so many methods. Inter row 2 to 4 meter, that is a range, and intra row 3 to 4 meter. Here you can see single row at square system. So 2.5 meter into 2.5 meter, that is the spacing. And this is a field condition after development. And raised bed double row system, right? This is also good because we can facilitate the drainage, right? If it is over irrigation, if it is heavy rain, we can facilitate the drainage of water in the system. So that's what we use the system. You can see in between the Papaya 2.5 meter, then 2.5 meter, that's a spacing between. And from the edge of the raised bed to the one hole pepper, that is 1 meter, then other side also like 1 meter. In between the raised bed, that is 0.5 meter, that means 50 centimeter. And height of the raised bed, that is 40 centimeter. And we can use the plant spacing at maybe 2 to 2.5, 2.5 to 2.5, 2.5 to 3 meters. So then the density of seedlings are varied according to this spacing. Under drip irrigation, 2 to 2.5 meter, nowadays this is famous. And pot size, that means, sorry, pit size, 45 to 45 to 45 centimeter. Here, right? Pit size, one plant pit size we can ensure. Then mixer, that is adding mixture to the pit, cow dung, compost, topsoil. And add recommended fertilizer 2 days before and mix well. So we can add the recommended fertilizer here. And seedlings are little raised above the crown surface. Yeah. Any question? Yeah. Someone need to ask question. Okay. Seedling a little raise above the crown surface to avoid the water. Here, right, you can see shallow rise, little rise, because we have to avoid the water locking and we have to avoid the damage from the rotting. Right, one seedling per hill uh, this is the recommended level after development. But initially, we can plant 3 seedlings per hill if the seedlings are raised from the cross-pollinator crops. And after flowering, cut male plant and left one female plant. Say here, initially we plant 3 seedlings. We don't know whether it is female or male or other things, right? Then uh, up to flowering, we had to wait, right? Then during the flowering, we can see, so this is whether it is female or male or hermaphrodite. Then we can cut the male plant and only we can left one female plant. If it is 3 female plant per hill, then we have to select a vigorous female plant, right? Then up to 1 month after field planting, irrigation should be made frequently. After that, once in a week or 10 days interval. So it is depend on the type of soil. So for the sandy soil, especially in Kalpiti area in Sri Lanka, mulching is recommended and apply 10 to 50 centimeter away from the stem. So we have to leave some space surrounding the stem. Maintain the field capacity at 30 to 40 centimeter. Increase the taste, right? That means there's a normal water management practices. So we have to uh, ensure the field capacity, moisture, field moisture is in the field capacity level. That means 30 to 40%. And but it is very suitable for irrigation area. That means we can control the moisture by irrigation. So rainfall area maybe not recommended. So it is mainly done by drip irrigation. Think about that intercropping. Capsicum under the pepper, we can do the intercropping. Capsicum, tomato, brinjal, radish, beans. So right, these can be recommended. But these are not recommended. Pumpkin, kekari, potato, cassava are not recommended. Why? Why? Because these plants are not recommended. So pumpkin, kekari, these are mostly affected by viral disease, and pumpkin mainly pumpkin mosaic virus and kekari. The leaves are getting easily affected by virus. So these are not recommended. And but the common thing, we don't do the intercropping under the papaya. So because why we are doing the land plowing and other management practices to other crops in between the papaya, sometimes it may damage the roots of the papaya. So that's what the intercropping is not recommended. But under the other crop, say coconut and rambutan, mango, we can cultivate the papaya as an intercrop, right? And the irrigation method, so the drip irrigation, that is the best method for the pepper cultivation to save the water. Here you can see the drip line and uh, sub lateral line, right? Two peps, right? Two lines are going inside, surrounding the pepper line, right? So flooding is suitable. So normal method, surface irrigation, they are doing. Flooding is suitable. Make basin or round plot and do the irrigation. Sandy soil during the drought period, so we can do the irrigation once in 4 to 6 days. So the clay soil once in 6 to 8 days. Then micro irrigation, maybe it is very advantage. Recently, all the papaya system, right? They are going to irrigate by these micro irrigation system, right? So what is advantage? Say 50% of water, double the yield, and we can get the quality fruits because we can control the moisture. And fertigation, we can install the fertigation tank with a drip irrigation channel, and we can put a fertilizer into the tank and mix with the water. So then the fertilizer use efficiency is 90%. And off season also we can get the product, reduce the soil erosion, reduction of 60% labor charge, right? So because in terms of irrigation, fertilizer application, and weed control, we are using a labor, right? But then it deduct 60% of labor charge. Maybe I think the 10 minutes we struggling with the internet, right? That's what I will go further. 10 or 15 minutes, right? Then drip irrigation, drip on drip lines and two extended outlets in opposite direction to a plant 45 centimeter away from the stem, right? Two direction. This is one direction, other one is another direction, two direction. And we can also use sprinkler irrigation, radius 1.5 meter. The rate is per hour 80 to 20 liter. So wetted area, the covered area, that means the 2 to 4 meter, and sandy soil 90 to 20 centimeter high, 350 liter per. The rate is high, 3 to 4 meter wetted radius. But uh, common method is drip irrigation than the sprinkler irrigation method. And fertigation, this is the fertigation tank. We can add the water and we can add the fertilizer and mix here. Then we can release into the pipeline. Here you can see this is the lateral lines, and this is a pepper standing in along with the lateral lines. So this is a system, fertigation tank, pumping the water, and we can use here the tank mix with the fertilizer, then we can release. So filtration tank, everything is there. Water soluble, slowly release fertilizer mixed with irrigation water and irrigation to the plants. Fertigation tank is fixed with micro irrigation system for this purpose. Use water soluble phosphorus fertilizer we can add. Pressure difference 20%, velocity 10%, and 1.7 that is velocity meter second minus 1 to ensure that each plant receives same amount of fertilizer and irrigation. That is the needed one, right? That's what we use these type of parameters. So then this is the fertilizer recommendation for micro irrigation. So drip irrigation 2 days before, DBP mean 2 days before planting. Per plant say 60 gram, 40 gram, 130 gram, and 2 months after planting, and at 3 days interval up to flowering. So think about that. No need to apply the fertilizer weekly. So if the farmers are cultivating papaya, this is a recommendation. Then 2 months after planting and at 3 days interval up to flowering. At 3 days interval up to flowering, we should apply 2 gram urea, 0.5 gram urea, and 4 gram urea per plant. At 3 days interval after flowering, so we had increased the urea 2.5 and TSP 0.5 and MOP, because the MOP also we little bit increased because to induce the flowering after flowering, right? So increase the fruit number and size. Here you can see once we observe the boron deficiency in pepper field, we can apply 2 gram borax per plant. Then fertilizer application, uptake of nutrition is high in papaya because the soft and succulent nature. Therefore, fertilizer application is must in young and growing stage. If pH less than 5, apply 500 gram dolomite per plant 2 days before planting. So Kalpiti area and coastal site of Jaffna, maybe these are dominant in dolomite. That is the undifferentiated rock bed are there. So we don't need to apply. But if the acidic soil or maybe in upcountry area, we should apply these dolomite. Apply fertilizer by circular method, that means ring method, and 30 to 40 centimeter away from the stem. So don't apply the fertilizer closer to the root system. You can 1 feet or 1.5 feet from the stem. 2 weeks before planting, apply 10 kilogram cow dung compost, 5 kilogram poultry manure, then apply once in a 6 month. So the organic manure we should apply in a big interval. But this is a recommendation, but in my view, the poultry manure may be sometimes harmful to the pepper plant because pepper is mainly affected by viral disease. So this is the bird excreta. So sometimes the viral disease may spread on the pepper. So better we can use the cow dung. And fertilizer recommendation, this is chemical fertilizer for the field, not a drip irrigation. For the basin irrigation system, 2 days before planting, 50 6500, and 2 months after planting, 50 6500. After that, at 2 month interval, so every 2 month interval we apply 65 45 100 days. So no need to do the fertilization frequently. So dry and intermediate zone, same thing happened, but the this is, right, phosphorus are less than the wet zone, right? Here wheat control. So then this is a wheat prominent field. So how we can do the wheat control? We can apply some mulch, right? There is also, we can control the moisture, and also we can control the wheat population. So this is suitable for drought prone area. Sometimes we can use the plastic mulch. That's also possible. So from the stem 90 centimeter radius, it should be free from weeds, right? So don't damage the roots when control the weeds. Apply mulching. Weed emerging between the rows should be controlled by small bit. Sometimes we can use intercultivator or some weeder to control the weeds where it is found in between the pepper plants. Thinning out trees, I have already mentioned that 3 plants per pit we initially, at the seedling stage, we planted. The excess trees should be thinned out when it reaches to bear the flowers. Left 1 female plant per pit. If 2 or more female plants per pit, left only vigorous one. Don't uproot the plant from the pit, avoid the root damage. So if it is 3 plants closer to that, if we remove one plant, then definitely other plant also affected. So then we have to cut at 30 centimeter from the ground level. In the pepper field, what is the ratio male to female? Only 1 female is enough for 10 female. I think this is the usual ratio in our chart. Fruit thinning. So when fruits are overgrown, we don't know. But when we observe the fruits are overgrown, then fruit thinning is recommended. It should be done at initial stage. Manual thinning, especially by hand, is suitable to avoid the damages. So fruit thinning increases size of existing fruits and avoid the differentiation of the fruit shape. Right? Unusual shape we can avoid. Like mango, also we have discussed about how to thin the fruit. Ratooning crops, uh, because of the dicotyledonous nature, we can cut the stem and we can perform the ratooning. How we can do? Plants which are grown at unattainable harvest height. So if it is too high, cut at 60 centimeter with a 45-degree angle from the ground, like that. You can see the second picture. Cut closer to leaf scar, cover with a tin or cup to avoid the stagnation of water rotting. 2 to 3 vigorous new shoots below the cut end and allow to grow further. It is suitable for virus-free plants. So, you know the term, right? Um, Water stagnation, wound, right? So that is the common thing in pepper. So if the farmer is cultivating pepper, he should ensure the field is free from water stagnation, free from wound, and covered with proper material, proper mixer after cut, because you have to avoid the disease. This backing, this is recently they are practicing in papaya, right? Papaya backing. Here you can see, but it is very difficult to cover the fruit by papaya. Sometimes when we do this backing, it damage. It may sometimes, right? So carefully we have to do the backing to avoid the fruit fly. So they are nowadays they are practicing like mango, right? Then pest and disease. So we are coming to end of the part, right? So pest and disease. This is the pepper ring spot. This is a common dominant disease in pepper. You can see the symptom. Ring spot on fruit surface. There are ring type spot in the fruit surface, even in the stem, even in the leaves. So yellow oily color in young shoot, leaf become mosaic. leaf becomes small, only vein. So wetter spot on stem, standard tree growth, less seal. So these are the symptoms. Is a pepper ring spot virus. Reason vector A bit and pepper latex and rainfall knife mild wind. These are the causal agent for these vector spreadness and ring spot virus. Control, we should remove the affected plants. Don't plant cucurbitaceae crops as an intercrop. I have already said pumpkin or like that. Plant maize as an intercrop for young stage and banana as an intercrop in later stage. Another one, anthracnose. You can see symptom, deep circular spot on well matured ripened fruits. And when fruit ripens, spot become large and black. Is circular spot you can see, right? Like a rotting. Later it become whitish due to the fungal growth. Red color whoosh spore found in spot. Reason, Cratodicum, whose was spread by rainfall, wind, and insect. Control, avoid the damage when harvest, transport, and storage. Apply mango sap or chlorothalonil mixed with the tea pole after removal of the fruits. Then you can see the root rotting. So there are color rotting and root rotting is there. So first mature leaves turn into yellow and then young leaves. You can see the picture right here. Clear symptoms without rotting of entire roots, color rotting, that means the color region, right? Between the root and stem, that's also affected. Cause soil living pathogen Pythium, Fusarium, Phytophthora, damage the plant in any stage, water stagnation, flooding in long time, that also ill drained area. Control, sterilization on nursery bed, seed treatment, we can use Captain Thrum, facilitate the drainage, don't damage the roots when do weeding or application. Field application, we can use Thrum, these following chemical. Color rotting, copper-based fungicide or Bodex mixture, we can paste on the affected portion. So, right? So we have to ensure this is the well drainage papaya orchard. And this is Phytophthora fruit rotting. Symptom, well rotting spot found on the fruits. White is mycelium on affected portion. Cause Phytophthora fungus. Control, harvest of fruit without damage or wound. Apply, we can use this recommended fungicide. We can use the different type of fungicide and the alternate ways. Sometimes the disease are resistant to the chemical, right? Leaf spot symptom caused by Asporium carica, and there are two species called the leaf spot. Here, the deep verted spot on surface of the leaves. Leaf become grayish purple color and below surface turn into black, then fall. Internal flush not affected, even spread on the fruit surface. And this is another species. It also causes circular spot. Bottom leaves was turned into yellow and moved to top. Long deep spot found on the leaf petiole. Cause asporiums in these two species. Spread fast during the rainy season. And another one is papaya phytoplasma. See, phytoplasma like organism. Maybe you may heard about that. Chili and other species also affected. Right? Symptom, very recent disease in Sri Lanka. Tree becomes short. Fruit and flowers are differentiated, that means unusual shape. Mature leaves shed. Young leaves become short and clustered. Plant will break and fall due to damage of phloem, yellow leaves, and tip dead. Disease becomes severe when combined effect with ring spot virus, right? So the phytoplasma jointly affected with a ring spot, then it is very dangerous. Cause that is a causal agent lives in phloem cell. Organism has nucleus without cell wall. Control, no chemical control. So remove of affected plants and clean cultivation. Pepper mealybug, this is an insect pest, right? You may heard about this mealybug. Symptom, trees become short and die because it can suck the sap of plants and fruits. Poisonous secretion cause mutant bud, yellowing or affected portion. It can secrete a honeydew, so then favor the growth of fungal, then fruit leaves turn into black, less yield and quality. Cause severe damage. So severe damage is observed in 2018 in Sri Lanka, caused by Paragogus marginatus, that is an invasive pest. And you can see the we have to ensure no cost or no paraquat marginated in the surrounding field, cassava, allare, custard, breadfruit. So if it is found, we have to remove. Nowadays, cost range is high, vegetable and flowering plants. Fast multiplication due to numerous egg laying. These are one of the characters of the insect. Movement of affected leaves and fruits by ants, human and instrument that also cause spread in high temperature season, January to March, June, September, and predator develop on this uh, little later, right? So then mealybug develop during this period, predator develop little later. So we don't apply any chemical during this season to develop the predator-prey relationship. Control at the initial stage, use brush, spray the water in high pressure. This is temporary control. You know, right? Farmers normally they are asking how we can control the mealybug. So we can you initially we can tell okay you can use the brush and spray with a high pressure. But biological control also we can use beetle, green lace wing is Cryptotalamus. These are the species beetle available 2019 from imported from Puerto rice. So these are the species available, right? Removal of affected plants if it is heavy damage. Then mites, symptom, two types of mice are available, spider mice, tetanichus, and broad mice, Polybaccus terosomonas latus. So the spider mites, major damage on leaves and young seedlings, sometimes on surface of mature leaves if plant has nutrient deficiency. Mice, as usual, downward movement, downward curl, and net type hole when damage is severe. So we can use the recommended miticide spray in both leaves, right? Then scale insect, you can see the picture. If it is affected by scale, quality and is yield are affected. This is a sucking insect. It can secrete the poisonous substances. So then affected areas become green and rust turn into yellow. So commonly observed in fruits, round shape, green color, scale insect, prey clustering. Control, no recommended pesticide. Use brush when damage is less. Otherwise, we have to remove the affected plants. So then other defect, unusual shape of fruits or cat face caused by environmental factors, lower temperature at night with more moisture at night. This is the supply genetic character. Therefore, not good low seed selection, overgrowth of anther turns as a portion of fruit. Softness, causal agent till not find. Sometimes it caused by this believeness, right? Unbalanced ratio of nitrogen, calcium, like that, right? Fruit become watery, fruit surface become wrinkled and soft. Control, maintain proper ratio and proper ratio of this nutrient. Small fruits, causal agent will not find. Small fruit develop at the whole of the main fruit. Sometimes, you know, right? Sometimes the pepper fruit is there. Below the fruits, there are some little fruits are developed. So, however, when ripe, it becomes as bright and orange color. And defect by improper pollination, stigma cannot receive enough right? Development of fruits without seeds, sometimes less number of seeds at the site of peduncle. Small size or differentiated fruit, flush where seeds occurs, develop well and turn into yellow, become ripe, thus become slowly ripe. So, uh, well developed seed portion ripe quickly, and other unmatured seeds area ripen slowly. That's a characters, right? So that means the not uniform ripening. You can see white color seed causal agent will not find. It may be unbalanced development of fruits. Flesh and seeds are developed slowly due to the surface of the fruit ripe at mature stage. But internal parts are hard and not be mature. So outside it seems the ripening fruit, but inside we cannot see. This is nutrient deficiency, mainly the boron deficiency. You can see the gallus type of uh, threads, right? You can see that means deform and lumpy fruit caused by boron deficiency. Leaf become yellow, tip of the leaves become plus. These are the characters you can see. No seeds inside, less sugar fruit. Using a latex from the fruits, you can see. Commonly observed in high clay areas, calcium rich soil, heavy rain with ill rain area. Difficulties in uptake of boron by undecomposed poultry. If you apply undecomposed, then this is also one of the reason. Control, proper irrigation, establish well-drained system, renovate the soil. Application of borage, because of the boron deficiency, 5 gram per tree, apply 30 centimeter away from the stem. For young, 10 gram per plant. For adult, in better condition. So sometimes we can plant with the resistant variety Ratna. So the final portion harvesting, 66. Two students are left. I don't know. Okay. First harvest at 8 to 10 month. That means, right? This is the condition. Within the 1 year, we can get. So after planting 8 to 10 month, at 8 to 10 month, we can get the first harvest. Economic viable period is 2 to 3 years. So once we establish the papaya, we can maintain up to 2 to 3 years. Harvest well matured fruit. For transport to the longest distance, 10% of fruit color change in the yellow. That is a characters of their color change. Shortest, if it is shortest distance, 20 to 25% color change is enough. Percentage of yellow color change for Ratna, 40%. For the ripening. For the local varieties, 20%. Right. So once you harvest, so don't damage the fruit, right? That's what the manual harvesting is better than the cicada using or machine usage harvesting, right? Then yield, you can see, right? Uh, 30 to 80 fruits per year, but it is depend on the variety. It depends on soil fertility, climate, and management as well. Especially in dry season, yield may be reduced due to the flower fall. Fruit becomes small size after economic period. That means after 3 years or 4 years, then we cannot maintain the pepper field. Once we establish, we remove, right, after 3 to 4 years. If tree height and fruit weight is high, so I have already mentioned that for the red lady, it is better to start a new orchard. Otherwise, provide the support, that means propping, right? Propping to the plant or tie up with a crossbar, easy for harvesting, right? After picking, wash the papaya fruits well by tap water to clean the dirt and make more shiny appearance. So we have to wash like a mango, pepper also. We have to wash thoroughly. Then wetted fruit should be dried well and make sure each fruit are well dried before packing. This is a very important point. Uh, don't pack or don't store the pepper fruits at a wetted condition. So if it is, it may cause the rotting or damage to the fruit, then definitely post carbon losses, yield losses is high. Marketing, create the fruits based on the size to determine the price and reduce the loss during the transport. Remove the pest and disease affected fruits and damaged fruit, unusual shaped fruits, differentiated fruits, we should remove for the marketing. Even in the export quality, we should remove. And this is packing. These are the material we can use. Strong perforated plastic box we can use, corrugated fiber box. But other materials are nowadays available. These are sorry, paper material. Okay, say the spongy layer we can use. Wrap each fruit by using paper. So individual fruit should be covered by this paper. That is a thing. And one layer thickness. This is one layer, this is one layer, this is one layer. So second layer is not found in the pepper. Here also like that. Then we can do the labeling that which industry do these type of packaging and date and other things, right? Expiry date, like that. And this one we can use another packing material. Storage. So if it is excess or excess production, we should store the pepper. So under room temperature, well ventilated place, we can store 5 to 7 days, in 1 week. But cool storage, under 12 degrees C, at 12 degrees C, we can store 15 to 20 days, right? So this is the last slide, right? Okay. About pepper, budget of the pepper cultivation. Here you can see, right? First year, second year, and third year, fourth year, right? So we can establish the pepper, right? And we can perform first year, second year, and third year, fourth year cultivation. So within the first year, we cannot get the profit. That's the thing, right? Why? Because the think about the red color mark, right? I mark with the red color. That is the additional budget in the first year. But even second year, third year, fourth year, all are same because crop establishment that is only needed for first year of the cultivation. So right. So how many years we can maintain the pepper field once we establish? Nearly 4 years, right? Maximum 30 years or 4 years. This depend on the management practices, right? But crop establishment two lakhs, nearly 205 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, right? This is for first year budget. So what are the things comes under the crop establishment? We can see here below table, fence making 80,000. Then post we need for the fence surrounding the field 63,000. Then spine wire, yeah, 48,000. Then nail like that. So then for the crop fence making, that cost the high budget, right? Then here second irrigation. So if it is the separate land, we should dig the cross well and facilitate with the water pump for the drip irrigation. So that costs 340,000. And here you can see another one, additional support, wind belt. So first year we need to provide support, so that also 45,000. And so that's what the total cost is high in first year. But yield is comparatively less in the first year of the cultivation, very less. So then second year, yield 38,000 into 500 kilogram, right, per hectare. That is the yield. The number of fruits, the average fruit weight, then number of fruit multiplied by average fruit weight, then we can get kilogram, right? Second year. So then once we go third year, then 42,000, then again increasing, right? Second year and third year, the income rising from second year to third year. Then fourth year, then again the reduction, yield reduction, no? Right. But comparatively, once you look at the table, right, you can see the total income. Second year, 1. So the 1,34,000 nearly, right? 35,000. Here, 1,50,000, second, third year. Then here, 10 lakhs, 30,000, right? Sorry, 10 lakhs, 1 million. So then that means we can compensate the first year budget in fourth year. So then farmers, even they don't think about that after cultivation of papaya, we can get the high profit. That is wrong, right? So we had to wait second year, third year, and fourth year, then we can get a high profit, right? So, so this is average yield of pepper, nearly 39,000 into 500 kilogram per hectare. This is the average yield. But think about it. If the farmers have owned own field, I mean, he's already having the field with the fence, right? So then he doesn't need to establish this type of fence or post or spine wires, right? So then this cost is uh, we can reduct if the farmer having fence, right, with the field already. So then we can reduce the budget. So this is about pineapple, pepper cultivation, budget of the pepper cultivation. So why I am telling about this budget, because you have already studied about mango, banana, even pineapple, and other crops. So you should consider about how many years we have to keep the orchard, right? So I have already mentioned that if we establish the banana, we can maintain up to 5 years. So the pepper is like that. We can maintain up to 30 years or 40 years. Grapes, once we establish, we can maintain up to uh, 30 years, right? So, but likewise, so the economic periods have been viable period of every orchard, and that's the thing we can calculate the profit and revenue, right? So this is the end of the slide. Maybe if you have any question, please ask. Uh, anyone, because the earlier 68 percentage are joined, now percent are joined. Now 4 students are left. I don't know whether they have a coverage problem or like that, right? So any question?